Okay, guys, welcome back. So, excuse the post-bath here, but when Loki gives us lessons, he really goes, "Phew." I was talking to him about how, I'm fine with switching to all heathen, all Nordic household. I think it's time. I think it's the right step for us. All the time Odin and I were separating was because he was pushing for it. I just wouldn't. He's told me I am the blanketed, 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 blanketed for 5 minutes. Stubbornest wolf he's ever met. He's like, you just put your little paws down and you will not move. And I'm like, yeah, I was called Stonewall in college for a reason. I'm not going to move. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. And, I had prayed to him for, bring me around on furs, and now they have all their beautiful furs. And I prayed to him to bring me around on horns. And the kind of heavy bit of this discussion is those who've watched the channel for years know I retired undefeated from drinking. So the raison d'etre for a meat horn, I'm like, really, guys, it's kind of silly for me to have a meat horn. But it's something they wanted, that it's part of the Nordic thing. It makes them feel at home. It makes them feel loved and respected as Norse deities. And I'm like, okay, all right. But you're not getting alcohol in this. I had asked last night. I said, look, it would be a bad thing for me to do, but do you want me to go buy a single beer somewhere and pour it in your horn and then pour it out? And they're like, absolutely not. Because that would be a bad idea, because you go, wonder what this tastes like. Yeah, they have closed bottles in the house, but we have a deal that if it ever looks tempting, it goes out. And they only get stuff that I take one look at it. I'm like, oh, that looks like that looks like something I don't want to drink. So that's how we do that. But Loki has his tea mead. We make instant tea, and he had told me, another little mini story. Excuse me, guys. He told me, I have a delicate tummy. We'd made it, ton of honey in it, sugar, tea, spices, all this good stuff, and he told me, go ahead, put milk in it because it's upsetting your tummy, which is why I'm now like, ugh. I said, no, that's not how mead was ever made. Oh, ye of little education. He goes, trust me, they did it. Put stuff in there. Turns out, I come online, I look it up. They did indeed used to make, and now they're starting to do it too. They're starting to use, I think, lactose or something, in mead. But they indeed used to make milk sweetened with mead, and it's supposed to be good for upset tummy. In the medieval period, they did this. You learn something new every day, and he's kind of chuffed because so far as I know, the gentleman who started the company that, makes these horns that I got is French. And he's always told me he's in France. And he's been in France. And I've always been like, sure you have, Loki. But, so he's chuffed. And, he was just bringing up this thing that I've been watching some, heathen talk stuff, those live streams. And this guy said something at the end about, it wouldn't matter how much money people gave to him, because this is now a super chat problem, because we talked about this. People will get into your super chat and just give you like $100 or something just to be able to post something hateful. Like, here's $100, F you, blah, blah, blah. Like, they do this. This is an actual thing people do. And, they say, like, just the way the super chat is set up for people to give you money, there's no stopping that. It's like, you get to keep the money after they verbally abused you, but next time you can block them. So it's kind of like one of those weird things. But I was saying, it wouldn't matter how much money he got. If the job started to suck that bad, showing up, doing these live streams in his channel, he just would stop showing up anymore. And we've been talking about, as I transition fully more into heathenry, but we're not going to keep saying the H word every 5 minutes, I swear. It's really not going to change the channel format. It's really not. I don't want to become just yet another, heathen channel. I told Odin that. I said there's a lot of them already. Really doesn't need to be another one on YouTube. And I'm sorry if you're heathen. You're like, I was just going to start my channel. You will probably do fine. But I was like, we don't need to change content in midstream. We're finally, starting to make a little traction. And he's fine with that. So it'll still be a Lokean channel, and it'll just be, I don't get to fall back on anything else. And I have tried to change the style of my content the last couple of years. So the only thing I can say is I knew it was time for a change because I and certain deities were just, let's just say we weren't getting along, and I responded in the way an Odin's person would respond. And that's neither good nor bad. It's just the way he teaches you to respond to things because that is what Odin prefers. For everybody, it's different, but with me, it was much more of a, okay, if you're showing me aggression, I'm going to show aggression back because that's what Odin does to me. Just to check those borders. Usually he's kind or he's off on his own or doing his own thing, but every so often comes over with some aggression to see what I'll do about it because he wants me to fight back. And it's not like horrible, terrible, but it's like, let's toughen you up. Army of one, let's go. And the other deity had tried approaching me aggressively, and I'd been doing this dance for years with Odin, and so I was like, okay, you know what? If you want to throw down, we're going to throw down. And they didn't like that, and they got more aggressive. And they were sending me like this, telegraphing this thing of, if you don't stand down now, I'm going to attack you. And I'm not going to mention the deity it was, so you can just imagine. I said, if you do that, I will put your head on a pole outside of this house, and I will take more heads every time someone comes to find you and rescue you. And he just looked at me and he said, I think you're pure evil. And I said, nah, I just work with the old man. I said, you don't seem to be getting, the thing that either Loki or Odin, because they switch from time to time, as ultimate deity in the house. I said, the old man would have me behave no other way. If I ran and hid behind the old man, he'd just pick me up a scruff of the neck and throw me out there to fight my own battles. And this is a god associated with Valkyries, who, before they became male fantasies, and for some of the ladies and other genders, were terrible and terrifying to behold. This isn't a god that got time to, mollycoddle me and, just give me the cuddles. He's not terrible. He can be gentle, but he's like, no, when it comes to, fighting, I expect you to be, willing to do what you have to. It's different for everyone, so don't be afraid you're going to do that. But it was definitely one of Odin's proudest moments because he was like, she will too, and I'll help her. I was like, oh, you don't have to help me. I'm going to enjoy this. He's like, it's my little girl. So I took Odin muley hunting. I took him muley hunting, and then the rest wanted to go hunting too. And then, like, the day just got crazy, as it does. Dude showed up to cut my grass. Everything was going crazy. We have lost 2 orders for Loki. The Loki doll never shipped, and we ordered Kinder eggs like on the 13th, and they still haven't showed up. And they gave themselves to the 28th, which was like, unless you were riding a Greyhound bus to get it here, why on earth would it take that long? But I was like, okay, I know, like, as of 2 Fridays ago now, I think, the post office said they're slowing stuff down, but I don't think it's shipped yet. So I contacted that guy, but I have to wait 2 days to see if he gets back to me. But since he gave himself to the 28th, I don't get to get the money back on that to go get Loki another set of eggs, on, say, Amazon. And I said to Loki, I said, with this retrograde, I don't want to just go. I could go get him more eggs now, like right now. But I said, the way this retrograde's been going, he will super express ship those. They will get here the next day, and we will have, so many eggs. Even Loki will be hiding in the corner going, no, no, no. And I said, this is, he's got a 12-pack coming if the guy ever ships them. I said, I don't mind, getting my refund and then going and getting you, I think it's 20 or 24 and another one. I said, I don't mind, but let's not order that right now. I just keep getting these huge soulful eyes, right? Because sometimes Loki and Odin both think you have the infinite money tree, or they'll pay you back, and they often do, but sometimes they don't. So be careful, especially if you have bills to pay. Let me take a drink before I cough on you, lovely people. So yeah, we did pretty good. We got the mead going. We made it with the electric kettle. Loki's like, yeah, close up with that. So when we used to make the instant mead, we used to take hours to do it because you have to, clean off all the altar gear that's on the stove. None of it's flammable. I have some common sense. And yeah, I got giggles and cheers. We bring out the big pot, cook it all and everything, and we have soup in there. So I'm like, where am we going to put this big pot of, instant mead? But then I thought, we have the electric kettle. And I'm sorry, I have a feeling I told you this story at the beginning of the video, but you're going to have to hear it twice. So to speed it up, Odin put a poll out, saw somebody melting beeswax in the microwave because, smaller fire in case something goes wrong. And, like, no excuses, no excuses. You got us the horns, you're keeping them up, putting that poll out. And I'm like, okay, guys, you know what? If we need beeswax, we will get it, but, like, we don't have horn stands. And I'm like, these things get expensive fast because the company I ordered from, the one is just a plain horn, and the one is a horn in a holster, supposedly getting bags with them, having butterflies fall down. And I said, it would cost X amount to order stands as well. I said, this is becoming an expensive proposition to keep buying this stuff, but we'll see. I'm hoping because they're so small, they're going to be like that big, that we can order, we can just make something around here until makeshift mead hoard stand. But yeah, if you guys want to see that, if you're interested in it, let us know. I have to clear it with Loki first. Sometimes he can be persnickety and he's not going to share his stuff. Sometimes he's happy to show it off. His horn comes Monday. Odin's coyote comes Tuesday. And I've been seeing that, but seeing like the dead coyote, that's how a death god celebrates. You got him something. It's a dead coyote. Yeah, I know. And so Meadhorn, then coyote, and then Meadhorn. It does look though like they'll probably take as much time as they need. I said, wouldn't it be funny if the coyote pelt and the Meadhorn showed up the same day, because they've been giving me this idea of like passing the Meadhorns around because there's only two, which was what I could afford, and not really, but they swear they'll make it up. So yeah, pass the hat around, throw something in the tip jar. These guys are getting expensive, but I love them. I love them. They're just getting expensive. Like every Norse god now it's Norse household is like, I always liked Ocelot. Go get a job at McDonald's because we don't got Ocelot money. you know, I always liked Mink. Yeah, go. You too. Go work at McDonald's. Go work at McDonald's for a week, and then you can go get your, your Ocelot your week. Don't got any more money. And we've been talking about, trying to have a super chat sometime, but I don't think we have enough viewers yet. But in super chat, people can throw stuff at you, and I said, well, if we do that to ever raise money for some of this stuff that you guys want, we'll be clear with you guys. Everybody's putting in their requests now. Like, gods know when you don't have money, and yeah, gods are gonna god. For has been like, I always like cats, and I'm like, I would get you a kitty cat, but she's talking pelt, but I'm like, I don't have kitty cat pelt money, and she's like, you know, and Freyr's thinking of like Vortas, and I'm like, guys, hey, gotta take care of the main two. If you guys can clap your hands and make magic happen, or like the one year the Pennsylvania lottery sent everybody lottery cards in the mail to try to announce like a new lottery, and it was actually legit cards. I said, you get me one of those and I win a couple $100 and you have whatever you want. So we'll see. But if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks again to our members. We had a new member join back, so shout out to our members and our patrons. You guys keep the channel running. You guys help when they decide they want meat horns and pelts and God knows what else. You don't need stuff in Heath and Rain until you do. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.